Hi, welcome to the Wednesday devotional here at the Sam Houston State Wesley Foundation. I'm Greg, and here is the dad joke of the week. I've been studying a lot of different words over the past several weeks since we've all been in quarantine mode, and I really appreciate learning the word plethora. It really means a lot. A few weeks ago, I talked about food and our eating lifestyle and our eating habits. How are those going these days with our current epidemic lifestyle situations? Hopefully, they're going better. I talked about dine-in versus cooking food at home. Today, I'd like to talk a little bit about dining together, eating together, breaking bread together. A few weeks ago, here at the Wesley, we also took down the tables and the chairs to clean out the dining area. And our dining zone will not be set up again until August, till all of you and more students return back here to this home away from home. But something I've noticed recently is how often we've eaten together and how beautiful that's been and how vital that's been to our ministry. You see, I've been sorting through 17,000 pictures from the past 8 years of ministry to whittle things down a bit, and I've noticed tons of food pictures, as in people eating together. Our Halloween parties with Chicken Express, our Christmas dinners with our ham, Thanksgiving potlucks, our Welcome Week event ones, our Resurrection Week pizza, and our Super Bowl party burgers and dogs. And of course, all the meals that Sunday schools and churches brought to us, and we ate with them too. Beautiful memories, so many of them. As I said, out of literally thousands of pictures, there's quite a few that are of us eating together. And I think that's a beautiful thing, especially in this time where even before the coronavirus hit, we were struggling with this as a culture. We are eating together less as Americans. I think that's also playing a lot into how we just don't feel connected anymore. We're feeling more isolated and alone. How often does your family eat together, by the way? Ours, we struggle a bit, even during the epidemic lifestyle. We'll eat together a couple times a week, especially when we have Takeout Tuesday, and we enjoy it really well as a family. And there are times where we'll just kind of do our own thing, and that's okay. But how often does your family eat together? For a lot, this is becoming less and less of a thing. And how often do people come over to your home to eat that aren't your family, that are family friends that are coming in, that you had dinner with some college student friends before we left, before this epidemic thing broke out? How often were you breaking bread in your apartments, in your places of interest, your habitations, before we went our separate ways, and something we had to give up in this time? There are actually tons of different Bible passages when the disciples ate together, or where Jesus broke bread with them, or he fed the 5,000, or so many eating together passages. But I think these are also meant to be moments of intimacy among people, as in bond together in a special, powerful way. For example, here's just a handful of these. In Isaiah 25:6, it says, "In Jerusalem, the Lord Almighty will spread a wonderful feast for everyone around the world. It will be a delicious feast of good food with clear, well-aged wine and choice beef." Luke 5:29-31, soon Levi, Matthew, held a banquet in his home with Jesus as the guest of honor. Many of Levi's fellow tax collectors and other guests were there too. But the Pharisees and their teachers of the religious law complained bitterly to Jesus' disciples, "Why do you eat and drink with such scum?" Jesus answered them, "Healthy people don't need a doctor, sick people do." Luke 22:19-20 says, "Then Jesus took a loaf of bread, and when he gave thanks to God for it, he broke it into pieces and gave it to his disciples, saying, 'This is my body given to you. Do this in remembrance of me.' After the supper, he took another cup of wine and said, 'This wine is the token of God's new covenant to save you, an agreement sealed with the blood I will pour out for you.'" Romans 12:13 says, "When God's children are in need, be the one to help them out, and get into the habit of inviting guests home for dinner, or if they need lodging for the night." Then Acts 2:46. Our theme verse of the Wesley is Acts chapter 2, 42-47, and here's Acts 2:46. "They worshiped together at the temple each day, met in homes for the Lord's Supper, and shared their meals with great joy and generosity." Reading all these Bible passages about people eating together helps remind me of the importance of food in our lives. No matter what culture you've lived in, no matter what century, there's something to be said for when people gather together to eat together, whether it's a special feast or whether it's a dinner, whatever it is. So I hope your family moments will be beautiful memories in this time where it was around a kitchen table, where Jesus is present, even though it might not be something that's grandiose like a Thanksgiving dinner or a Christmas ham or whatever, that even our meals together as families will be beautiful, blessed by his presence, because Jesus loves the times where we eat together, because that's a special bonding moment indeed. In fact, we heard the passage earlier about when he did communion for the first time, basically, it was out of an entire meal. It wasn't just the Hawaiian sweet bread or the grape juice that we all miss here at the Wesley too these days. It was much more than that also. So may God bless your times of eating together with your families. And may he continue to inhabit those beautiful memories where we were cared for and we felt safety together, where it was just beautiful moments that not only did our stomachs get a little bit more full, but our hearts did too, because there's something to be said for that. And we will also experience that together once again in August when we all return and we have more memories where Jesus has inhabited our meals with us as well. I love you all. I miss you very much. We're still in this together. God is still God, and God is still good. And then this will be behind us in due time. Onward and upward, my friends.